And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to DMT Round 2 action with clan groups XENO squaring off against the 48th clan group over on Keratin map with a middle objective of train station. As we zoom in, we can see we got about an hour and 21 minutes with about 6 minutes left to go until this match kicks off. On the eastern side of the map, we have the Axis, which are going to be the clan group XENO, as they already have a couple tanks looking to move off into the midpoint, while the Allies are sending one towards map line and one on the middle. The Allies will be the 48th clan group. On tonight's DMT actions, go ahead and go over the DMT rules. Oh, why is that not centered? Much better. My apologies for that hiccup, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so DMT Tank rules. Scoring. The match winner will be determined by the DMT total team score, in which the DMT total team score will include the total combat score plus total center point cap score, first cap a midpoint bonus, and held mid at an bonus. Now the total combat score is going to be 3 times whatever the combat score of Crew 1, highest combat score, Crew 2, highest combat score, Crew 3, highest combat score, and Crew 4, highest combat score, plus Commander's P-Strike combat score. And then additionally for the total center point cap score, it's going to be half a point times however long one team has held center point cap in seconds. It is generally the responsibility of crews playing to track the amount of time the center point was held in crew combat scores. However, the DMT admins are now using bots to help maintain and keep track of this, of how long a clan controls mid. So, mashup rules. The game mode is going to be warfare, fight over the midpoint only. Tank types. You're allowed medium and recon tanks only. Use of the Sherman's 75mm tank smoke rounds is prohibited. There's no set number of each type. Teams may decide their own tank mix. Team size. You will get 1 commander and up to 5 tank crews. Tank crew rules. Must remain with the same tank until it is destroyed or stuck beyond recovery. You may swap to a different tank type in the HQs only. You may kill any enemy vehicles actively being used anywhere on the map. Killing enemy vehicles in HQs that are not actively being used is prohibited. You may only be shuttled back to their tank if they die by the commander in a jeep or truck. They may drive through the 4th point capture, however, fully capturing the 4th point is prohibited. You may switch to infantry at the start of the match to build nodes. Placing mines is prohibited as infantry, however. And intentionally clipping a tank inside of an object that is not intended to be an accessible object is prohibited. You may apply tank skins. Tank commander rules. Must stay in the tank at all times. You may play in any seat in the tank. Crewman rules. You may play in any seat in the tank. You may leave the tank to repair own tank or friendly tanks. You must stay within 15 meters of own tank at all times. You may use smoke grenades to provide cover immediately, prior to starting repairs or while repairing only. Spotting while outside the tank is prohibited. Use of the technician class is prohibited. Building repair stations, ammo supplies, and barricades is prohibited. Commander rules. Must remain in HQs. What are they doing? May use the following abilities. Unlimited precision strikes per match. However, P-Strike in enemy HQs is prohibited. You may spawn tanks, trucks, and jeeps. Commanders may use recon planes at any time and anywhere on the map. Use of supply drops in HQs for nodes before 1 hour and 50 minutes on the game clock. You may use encourage. You may use resource swap abilities. Use of any other commander abilities not listed above is prohibited. May drop pings anywhere on the map. You may shuttle crews back to the tanks in jeeps and trucks. However, you must stay in the shuttle vehicle at all times. Spotting with or without binoculars is prohibited. Reserve crewman rules. You may bring in reserve crewmen to help build nodes and fill in if someone disconnects. You must remain in the HQs, calling out enemy tank locations, dropping pings on the map, or having any effect on interfering with enemy tank crews while not in an active tank crew is prohibited. Match starting queue hold lines. Fighting starts at the 1 hour and 15-minute mark, in which we have 1 minute and 45 seconds left to get to. All tanks must hold in their first 2 grid squares until 1 hour and 15 minutes. Time before 1 hour and 15 minutes may be used to spawn in the first wave of tanks, build nodes, and strategize. There are restricted zones. Entering into the enemy's last 3 grid squares at any point during the match is prohibited. Generally, there is figures when delivering these rules that teams can make use of. However, since we do not have that graphic, so as the Allies and the 48th, they want to be prohibited from moving into grid coordinates, hotel, item, and jig. As the Axis and XENO, they will be prohibited from moving into grid coordinates Able, Baker, and Charlie. So, as we're waiting for this match to kick off momentarily in about 50 seconds, I think a key point over this objective is that XENO will get use of Mount Halis, as Mount Halis is their 4th objective, and it's going to be really risky for the 48th should they capture midpoint to try and set up anywhere on Mount Halis to intercept tanks. Mount Halis has some very good spots to intercept tanks that are trying to come down the railway. Being said, if XENO gets a good first push onto train station and makes a cap, they will get good use of the map line down here for intercepting any enemy tanks trying to make a move into objective from the southern area. However, there's a lot of buildings that will allow 48th to move in and flank from the north as necessary. Alright, 1 hour and 15-minute mark has passed. The tanks are now racing off. We have 2 tank crews moving in for XENO, making a direct push along north. One looks to be holding back or possibly stuck. And then we have a 4th PZ4 on map line out here. For XENO side. We have 1 tank crew coming in. LT We Massacre. Moving in. I believe they're going to probably collide with Detto on the map line. And Master Sergeant Ready moving in on a front door push. Along with Staff Sergeant Mr. Nimbus coming in. Oh, we got some action going on. XENO levels the first hit. Staff Sergeant Mr. Nimbus pulls off behind. I believe they're going to try and conduct some repairs. That's not going to enable XENO to rush. However, they're going to have to be careful. They're exposed. They're not going to rapid time. XENO draws first blood. Puts the cap weight in their favor. Now XENO sees the other tank crew. Non-penetrating hit. Second shot goes off of the gate. Are they going to shoot past the fence? Yes, XENO does deliver another hit. XENO falls back. No, sorry, 48th falls back. I think they're going to have to take that gate, or they may try to flank. No, they can see turret. why, Gunner, why'd you do that? That may have blown it. I mean, sorry, driver. Maybe having some action on the map line to the south of the area soon. Oh, we got a flank attempt coming in. .48 draws even. Both sides down one tank so far. We have a little bit of a Mexican standoff here on the front door. However, I do believe XENO is getting the cap pressure due to being inside the strong point themselves. Uh-oh. Oh, gets back right in the nick of time. I was gonna say, tanker's gotta hurry. Kleiner over here dueling with masks aren't ready. Let's see who's recon plane coming in. If we see the dots being revealed, yes it is. So this is gonna be 48's recon plane coming in, showing the location of the last two of the XENO's tank crews. Uh-oh. Oh no. P-strike's going in. Oh, that tank is done. I believe Massar, or I thought that would have said Major, but that's just Ma. So Ma, red paint, grabs that kill before that P-strike will miss. Oh no. XENO's about to lose another tank. XENO's officially down 3 tanks. Possibly about to get wiped off the map by 48th. Had no idea. XENO gets one back, but down goes their last tank. Cap pressure and successful cap victory should be going to the 48th here. I would go ahead and throw one tank on strong point just to help the cap weight here and secure cap faster. But GG is on that initial wave. One second, ladies and gentlemen. Well, while we wait, I'm going to go ahead and update the tag. Alright, so what can XENO do here? I think XENO is going to need to make a move on train station from the north. They're going to have to utilize the cover of the buildings and the center and town center on Carentan to make a move on 48th here, as 48th looks to be getting set up. They're definitely going to be wanting to put one tank out here on map line, and that's going to be given a good. It's going to be watching that southern map line for any movements coming in as 48th goes ahead and starts turning off their tank engines. It's really unfortunate for XENO to have lost their tanks and get wiped off the field so early. I will say that right now you just got to bide your time. Regroup, get your tanks back up together, and then make a collective effort elsewhere. Because if you try to rush while not having the numbers, you will probably get smoked. And if you get smoked a second time, that might as well be GG. You need to take this opportunity here to assess the situation and figure out a new plan of attack. As now you gotta, and as stated, train station first cap bonus goes to 48th. And now we wait to see how XENO will respond. Just as a reminder to all of our viewers, we are on a 30-minute delay, so while I do appreciate the comments, I will see them in real time. However, you guys are seeing my feed on a 30-minute delay. So if I respond vocally, I will not be able to. You will hear my response in 30 minutes. So if I don't initially respond right away, I can only respond via chats on the stream. But otherwise, you guys are seeing my feed. That's the reason why my engagement will not necessarily be there. Either way, I hope you guys are having a lovely start to your weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We have one recon tank team. Looks like Dedo88 is taking his recon tank way north, which is not a bad move. Dedo is an experienced taker. I've known him from back during my days in Berserk. So Dedo should have an understanding that this recon tank is meant more as a hit and run sort of fashion. So what he's probably going to do, and it's probably smartly going to do, is he's going to figure out where the positions are for these tanks. A little bit of a interesting advantage by not having midpoint cap on train station is that if your team doesn't have midpoint cap hold, your fourth objective gets unlocked. This fourth objective effectively operates as a sort of early warning beacon system. So if this starts to cap, then you should know that one of your enemy's tanks is within these 4 squares. So it's going to be really important for 48th if they want to keep secrecy to avoid moving around the Mount Halis area. But alternatively, and here comes XENO's recon plane now. Alternatively, what you can do as XENO here is you can flank down into the D grid quadrant. You can go around the south side of pumping station, and because pumping station is a locked objective, it will not start being captured. So you will not trigger any sort of early alerts for the other team. Looks like we have one medium tank heading up towards Mount Halis now. War Daddy with Nippa and Chapo. Let's take a review of their positions. Lieutenant we massacre with Master Sergeant Super and Warrant Officer Trooper. They're in a very good position. However, it is a position, nevertheless, that's a little... I mean, you're well defended, but you're a little landlocked. See what Deado is doing. Seems to be trying to work out how he wants to approach Train Station. He's going to be a little careful because of this tank on the south side on the map. Warrant Officer Troopers and We Massacre's tank. Looks to be going to map line. Got to be careful here. You don't want to expose your position unless you have. Oh, here we go. We got some engagement going on. Oh, rough. XENO loses another tank. 48th marks up another kill. 48's gunner is engaging, however, they're overshooting. This is probably going to be killed. XENO's going to exact one back. There you go. So consider that a trade-off. I thought that was what they were going to try and do. I didn't think it was going to be a good... I did not think it was going to be a very good decision. Valiant effort, though. What I maybe would have done was... I mean, this is a very popular spot. I can't say you can anticipate your enemies waiting there for you, but given that, might have personally waited to see if the tank that was I would have been considering myself working with War Daddy down there on the map line. If he nails a hit and this tank moves back to repair, that would have been your opportunity to attack. And try and finishing off that map line tank. A lot of these DMT teams, especially with the smaller ones, unfortunately don't often work with, you know, kind of tank mains. So it's difficult to get that sort of coordination going. Talking about one time when... Uh-oh. XENO has no idea. Now goes. Oh no. Uh-oh. This is not good. XENO needs a push. Do not let him get away. Oh ho ho. Never mind. 48th gets taken out by Sunshiny's crew with Beef, Stroganoff, and Cool. XENO slowly starting to get the numbers advantage going for them. You gotta assume that that tank is still think Master Sergeant Reddy's gonna have that good of a view. Honestly, I would be working on that. Yeah, I would be working on that tank on map line. Oh, it actually looks like they lost one soldier. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Yep, that's a second crewman lost for that tank on map. Being solo as DMT is not safe proposition. Oh, this might be a move. Oh, is 48 going to push that? XENO has to withdraw if they want to stay alive. Rick and Divinity going ahead and getting to work immediately. Yep, this is exactly what I would have been worried about by this position. You are just really hemmed in right now. And honestly, if had Detta waited, would have been a very good opportunity to... oh, down it goes. They finally get that penetrating hit instead of those Ricks. XENO's starting to take ground, but they need to move quick and take care of these last two 48 tanks on midpoint if they wish to put train station in their own favor. As a third 48 tank has now come into train station. He's going, looks like he's pushing off in the distance. Has to be careful here. Honestly, from this hillside, there's not many good sight lines down into the town. But what you can do is if you set up around this house right here, you can make sure to keep an eye on any tanks coming through that orchard or coming through these openings and these fields to the southwest of train station. Both clans looking at 3 tanks apiece around train station, none in the center strong point of train station, which, reminder ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to warfare, the 4 squares around the objective, so with this objective being located in Easy Foxtrot 7, so that's going to include Easy Foxtrot 7, Easy Foxtrot 8. Just being in the vicinity does count as cap weight. However, if you are in the strong point, it triples your cap weight and allows you to put more pressure on being in that strong point. So effectively, 1 tank could equal 3 just by putting 1 full man tank onto the strong point. Puts in their recon plane, shows the present location of 2 of the XENO's medium tanks pushing in. Oh, 48 trying to come around on the backside of Liner's tank. They're gonna get the drop on him. Are they watching their backside? 48th is. There's one hit. Engines out. RIP. XENO goes down a tank. Ooh. XENO gets one back for them as XENO loses a tank on the backside. Cap weight is still 3 versus 3. All tanks around the vicinity of, instead of on the strong point. Oh, XENO tank takes a hit. Are they going to get in there in time? Oh, just barely. Or another 48 tank is engaging another XENO tank on the map line. Both XENO tanks right now have at least one shot into them. Oh, that must have been track. Oh no! Environment screen both of these teams. Who's going to get the final kill? 48th looks like they pull off to conduct some reps. War Daddy's tank has completed their own reps as well. Dedo on the map line. Now, if I'm XENO right now, you gotta make a move. Keep slowly picking off these tanks one by one. They're always going to funnel more in, but they're still going to have that cap weight going for them as every second. You got a P-strike going in, but I believe this is going to miss. Oh, actually, no, there's 2 chances there. Oh, it gets a 48 tank goes down. Probably inadvertently. Yeah, I don't think he hit. I don't think that was the tank he was going for, but he gets it anyways. As We Massacre's tank stays alive for a little longer. However, having taken damage from that P-strike, they need to continue repairs. As cap weight finally goes into favor for XENO. XENO scores another kill. Another 48 tank goes down. This is XENO's opportunity to flip train station into their favor. .48 scores one back, taking out Dedo's tank on map line. This has got War Daddy to contend with over here. 48's recon plane goes in, reveals the location of several of XENO's tanks. War Daddy exchanges blows. 48th tanks we massacre backs off. War Daddy goes ahead and does the same. Midpoint cap changes hands. We Massacre is not aware that his tank is exposed on the north side. Down goes We Massacre. .48 down to one tank left. Ma Red Paint. Oh, they're backing off. Ma Red Paint coming out looking for War Daddy. Is War Daddy still in there? War Daddy's still in the location. Oh no. Red Paint would have had a shot if they came through the hedge. Fence is probably gonna fuck up this shot. As I called it. Oh. Damn. Well, XENO has probably evened out the KD with 48th at this stage. There still is a 48th tank still on. Mats aren't ready with Scope and HUD. Gotta be careful here. You're still a little exposed. Oh, that's not ready. Gets away in time. I'm that PZ4 though. I'm moving to try and finish that kill. Do it before another 48 tank comes up onto the battlefield. You've gotten a spawn wave, or spawned white. Or squad wipe, I guess, would be a more accurate assessment. But you squad wiped. I would so far. So at best, you got one tank coming and another one hitting HQ momentarily. This is your opportunity to try and finish that one off and eliminate a threat close to the objective. War Daddy putting himself into the position so many other tanks were holding before. Liner with Divinity moving in. As Sue Shiny. They're looking. Knights aren't ready. He's done good keeping himself in little hidey holes. desperately waiting for backup back here. Where we got Staff Sergeant Mr. Nimbus on the southern area of map line. Dueling recon planes going in, trying to get an assessment of each tank's location for both respective teams. Oh, peace strike attempt going on. Fortunately, the recon plane has spooked. Falls short. Oh wow, that building wasn't there. If he came in from the other direction, he actually might have gotten him. That's already out here, getting his tank ready to move out. This 48th is bringing up another tank on the southern map line. We Massacre's tank coming back into the fight. Already's tank already taking shots from farther up the hill to the south. Looks like his position's been clearly communicated. Jar's got to move their tank just a little bit farther. There they go. Pincer moving on, well executed. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, you work with your other tank crews on the battlefield. Had they not done so, I mean, I believe this Kleiner's tank definitely would have gone down in that situation. Having ricocheted twice and taken one body shot, one more would have definitely finished that off. Just trying to engage out here. We Massacre. Trying to avenge. Honestly, I would back off, and I would regroup. Oh! Kleiner's tank, unlucky, gets sniped before finding a good spot to conduct repairs. Seeing some more action here, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like 48 tankers are looking for that XENO tank on map line as they're both focusing that direction. Precarious position right now. But honestly, very dangerous for 48th as focusing on one area of the map is not... It's a very risky endeavor. Looks like they're going to be pushing out onto this road. Oh, the gunner just turned right the wrong second. Oh, no. Oh, no. Talk about unfortunate Call of Duty timing. Oh, maybe the gunner turned to face Ma Red Paint over here. That's probably what happened. That's the only thing I can make sense of it, because otherwise that is incredibly unfortunate. Looking to go take up a position on map line. More Daddy moving back into his hedgerow that he was enjoying a lot earlier. XENO Tank crews moving in. Making sure that they hold cap. Climbers with Divinity's tank. Dedo has returned to the battlefield. Honestly, with how much ground you have, if I'm 48th, I'm putting myself just enough into that strong point to push cap. Start robbing XENO of those precious seconds. Which looks like they finally are starting to do. As the last of the 48th tank has now come up onto the battlefield. Maybe just a hair exposed on those tall turrets. Oh. Oh no. 48 takes the tank kill. XENO might be getting one back, however. Gunner's not traversing fast enough. Forty-eighth has flipped midpoint cap back into their favor. Oh, too late on the aggression. Too late. Oh no, they got stuck. Will 48 get the, will the Sherman get the turret around time? No, they won't. Body hit one. Exchange of body hits. And oh, RIP. Wow, that looked like there was double tap somehow. Must have taken in a shot from War Daddy on the south side of the map. XENO gets one more kill back into their favor. Right now we are looking at 2-2 currently deployed onto train station between the two sides. Time ticking in 48's favor now. Obviously, it's the kills that matter in DMT action. However, you cannot negate or neglect holding midpoint. So the pressure is on to XENO now for making a move and taking this objective back into their favor. Looks like Xeno's commander is trying to return one tank crewman back out to the respective tank. Massacre takes a blow. Those railways are incredibly dangerous. Question is, does War Daddy have a shot? Which I do not believe he does. Has now started to push cap weight into their favor. Having 3 tanks in the cap sector versus 2. When it comes to Keratin, there is a lot of not rendered trains that 48th takes a loss. Very poorly timed for 48th. I don't know if there's much they can do there, but now it's definitely looking like XENO will secure this cap. Four tanks to 1. Recon plane going out, revealing the locations of a couple tanks. War Daddy takes a hit. Both crews get out to repair. Exactly the move 48th needs to do right now. So you have the opportunity to get around and behind. As XENO flips the midpoint cap into their favor. 28 minutes left, 26 minutes until you can no longer capture midpoint. On 48, I'm getting my numbers back up. I would wish Mesh aren't ready well. And tell him good luck. Trying to take at least 1 or 2 tanks out with him before he dies. If he dies. Xeno's tank's operating pretty boldly, to be honest. They tracking readies. They might be. They are. Ready, facing down a 3v1 situation. Not healthy for most players of Hell Let Loose. down goes ready. That was an opportunity they had with that Rick, but fortunately not able to capitalize. 48th now has 2 tanks coming back up towards the front. The question is here, do you commit your resources to going in, or do you flank? There is a default at middle. Moving in. Damn, unfortunate. 48th losing another tank. Honestly, if I'm 48th right now, I am not making a move until I get majority of my forces back up. You need to send a couple tanks on a wrap. You have the advantage right now that if you send your tanks down through Mount Halis, the other team will not know. Granted, you cannot go into the H grid quadrant, but you can wrap, and you can probably put yourself in a position to get a couple kills. Because front dooring it is not going to be successful on this map. This map has a lot of tight funnels and can be very difficult for your front door assaults. Not saying it's impossible, because talent level is talent level. You can have the best gunners in the world going against the worst gunners, and even if you somehow got wiped and need to take back mid, I mean, you're gonna win. You play the cards right if your talent is better. But at the same time, I mean, like I said, this is a map that has just a lot of tight funnels, a lot of selective places for armor to push in. So if you're watching, it can be quite difficult. So you just got to take advantage of the town center. You got to take advantage of these roadways being concealed, and you just got to move through. You can take this avenue. Well, yeah, you can't go that far in, but you can take this avenue, come down here. See, I know Cool's a very experienced tanker, so I know that they're going to be looking for it. Like I said, that is just one avenue you can take. See, War Daddy's got a lot of hedge space, a lot of hedge coverage. That even if he takes a hit from the west, you can move in down here. You hit him from the east, it's not going to be so lucky. You do have to watch out for these fences, though. These guys are going to get more ammo, potentially. Kleiner keeping cap weight. gathering their numbers. Where is the fourth tank? Oh, there they go. Now, good wrap start. Only thing is, you don't want to push until you're ready to go. Get in position, do what you have to do, but just don't push this as a collective too often. That's a mistake that I see teams tend to make. Now, the best way to go about this is you need one tank to shake the keys on the front door, attract all of their attention, make it seem like, okay, this is what the clan is trying to do. This is the way they're trying to counterattack. Make them get all of their attention facing one direction. So, generally, at best, I would say you want to send only 2 tanks on the wrap while keeping the other 2 shaking the keys. Because once they figure out you're trying to flank, that's going to catch all of the attention. Reveals 2 locations of XENO's tanks. Immediately already moving. Good catch, trying to be wary of a P-strike coming in. But I wonder, did that just expose them the masses aren't ready? Ooh, non-pen hit. The opportunity. I guess they didn't miss. Mass aren't ready. Did not see Cool's tank pulling back. Sun shiny. That recon plane just narrowly avoids picking up a 48th tank. Here it comes. There's 1, there's 2. Good flank attempts. They got 1 at the edge of the road. Do they see him is the question. I believe that's War Daddy. War Daddy takes 1 down, so far it's a trade-off of hit kills. 1-on-1. Oh, this tank could wrap. This thing might be able to grab 2 of them. Nabs another. 2-1 in this engagement. Dedo's still alive to the south, and then you also have War Daddy still up. Dedo's tank moving in from behind. Dedo wraps him. He'll be able to nail at least one. Uh-oh. Red Pants just turned. Is his Spidey sense tingling? Uh-oh. 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 Oh, no. Ooh. Not good. Not good for 48th. Dedo has a one-shot advantage. What's it gonna do? Might have been able to freak him out. XENO's turned the cap into going back into their favor. War Daddy's gotten the drop on one. 48 does not get back there in time. Private Jack, are they going to push is the question. You got to hunt them. You can't let them get away like that. Oh, no. Right now, it is 2v1 in favor of XENO. Recon plane going in. This is 48th tank recon plane coming in, showing the locations of XENO's tanks. One here, both get marked. Oh, wildly unlucky. Oh, might be saved here. Might be saved. Well, I guess that was relative. Dedo's tank is taken out, but the 48th tank is taken out in turn. Masks aren't ready. Last alive for 48th. 48th needs to try and flip this midpoint cap back into their favor for the end of the match. We're about to come up to a 12-minute mark, which makes it 10 minutes to flip train station back into your favor, which they have. Reddy has smartly put his tank onto the strong point. XENO's tanker, yep. Kleiner says not so fast. We can put our tanks onto the strong point as well. .48th has time. They just, has fuel. They just do not have the time. They're gonna probably have one last good effort to flip midpoint cap back into their favor. 10 minutes. It's got to be aggressive. Now that they know where you are, you got if you got that one shot advantage where if you pen them and they don't pen you and they fall back, uh-oh. Already may not need to do anything here. Tank is pincered. One hit's in. Another hit on turret. Tank's getting the fuck out of there. Will they be able to successfully? Here's the question. 48th gives chase, starts putting the cap into their favor. War Daddy coming in and trying to give some support. He really likes that headline. Oh, 48 Tank takes a hit from far. Dedo's Tank on map line. Oh, the wrap was a good idea. The wrap just wasn't tight enough. Vinny probably hears that tank moving away and moving underneath the bridge. Do they see him? Do they see him? That looked like body. Vinny's getting out. He's got to do some reps. Oh. R.I.P. Divinity. Pickle Rick now gonna go out and do the same. Ooh. 48th nets another kill in their favor. You got Dedo and War Daddy still left on the battlefield for XENO. Oh, 40th might be losing a tank here. That they do. Red Panda's got to put his weight onto the strong point. You finish this out. You put yourself at the advantage. XENO's pushed too far in. They would be capturing this objective if they just put their bodies on the strong point. Now they're running out of time. Exchange of hits. Who's gonna get the final one? This may be a trade. No, it is not. Dedo secures that kill. Oh, 48 being too aggressive. Another kill for Dedo's tank crew. Objective is contested. 48th. I don't know if they're going to be able to throw another tank in there. It's 1v3 right now. Dedo's tank has reps. So unfortunate. I don't know what's up with this. I mean, it could have been the way the Sherman was on the tracks. I don't know how they managed to rick on that. Last chance for 48th has gone to the wayside. 10 seconds until GG. And GG on mid-cap bonus. So XENO is going to be taking home final midpoint cap bonus on this match, and honestly, I would say that probably gives them the advantage on top of the last second kills that they netted in defense of Train Station. So I believe unofficially that's going to make this a GG in favor of XENO. With a minute 25 left. Minute and 20 left. We're going to go ahead. We're going to leave admin cam real quick, and we're going to go over the scores. So, for Ma Red Paint, leading Baker Armor, we have a total of 469 combat score with a highest of a 472. We have Jig Armor Squad under Lieutenant We Massacre with a 635 combat score, 636 combat score as highest in his crew. Yeah, Masks Aren't Ready with the highest combat, with a 285 combat score for his crew with the highest of 288. And then you have King Armor with the 48th as a 190 combat score. Let me see if I can go ahead and jump to the other side so I can start doing the other teams. maybe get enough. I may have enough time to do so. All right, so Kleiner under Charlie armor has a 475 combat score. Abel under War Daddy has a 475 combat score. Easy under Dedo has a 656 combat score with a high of 664. And then Sunshiny with a high of 567, 564 combat score for his armor. So that's going to wrap up today's stream, ladies and gentlemen. Good fighting. That was a pretty entertaining match between both sides. XENO managed to rally successfully and avoid, running into the difficulties of trying to recap mid from the Axis side with that sort of midpoint. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have a good remainder of your Saturday. I should be going live at least for some more action later today. So keep that in mind. Until then, LT Yakko signing out. Thank you guys for all the support on this live.